Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Nelly, and today I'm showing you how to make this really easy recipe on pinto beans. Alright guys, so here's my pinto beans. So I washed them, choosed out any old beans that was in the mix, and then you want to rinse it out really well. Then you can put it in some water and leave it to soak overnight. If you do that, the beans will cook really quick and it'll be done in no time. Okay, so I soaked mine overnight for maybe about 8 hours and started to cook it. And when I started to cook it, you guys, my beans was ready in like 1 hour, probably less. All right, so the beans will swell overnight and it'll cook way faster. So once it's time to cook, I placed the beans in my pot and I covered it with water, and I added in a few sprigs of fresh thyme, a few cloves of garlic, and half of a red onion. You could also use regular yellow onion as well, okay? And I let that cook until my beans were soft and tender. One way to know they're ready is to take one of it and crush it. You have this. If it crushes, then the beans is cooked. So once the beans was tender enough for me to take one of them and crush it with my hands, I added in 1 carrot and I let the beans cook for about 30 minutes more, okay? So this pinto beans recipe was inspired by a Colombian pinto beans recipe. They make it pretty much the same. The only other thing they add is, I believe, a green plantain, and they cook that with the beans. All right, so that's where I'm getting this recipe inspiration from. It's so yummy. So yeah, I let that cook for 30 more minutes. If the liquid starts to dry down, add more water back into the pot because you want the beans to have a little liquid in it, all right, when it's done cooking. So after the 30 minutes, what I'm gonna do is remove all of the vegetables that I added with my beans. So, and some of the beans I'm adding it into the blender. So I'm gonna add the carrots, the onion, the garlic cloves, the fresh sprigs of thyme. I'm gonna remove the thyme stems from the beans and throw it out. And I'm adding some of the beans into my blender or NutriBullet, and you're gonna blend that up with some of the liquid into a puree. Once it's pureed, you're gonna add that back into the beans. This will give the beans a more smooth consistency and make it a little more chunky and just delicious. All right, so you're not blending all of the beans, just some of it. And then you're gonna pour it back into the pot. Season up the beans now with some onion powder, garlic powder, salt, and black pepper to taste. Make sure the beans is tasting delicious. And at this point, I still have my beans over medium-low heat simmering, okay? If it's too thick, add in more liquid into the beans, all right? So next, I'm going to show you how to make this mixture that we're going to add inside of the beans. This mixture, you could actually make it while the beans is cooking, all right? And after you puree everything and add that into beans, you add this mixture that I'm about to show you guys into the beans. All right, so in my frying pan over medium heat, I added a little bit of oil just to coat the bottom of my pan. And once the oil got nice and hot, I'm adding in some minced garlic, diced onion, and about 1 to 2 scallions sliced up, and I'm going to saute that for 3 minutes until they start to caramelize just a little. Next, I'm going to add in some diced tomatoes, and I'm going to let the tomatoes cook with the mixture for about 10 minutes or so until the tomatoes start to sweat and release its juices. All right, mix it with the rest of the ingredients in the pot, and while it's cooking, I'm going to season it with some ground cumin, some salt, and black pepper. Lastly, I added in some fresh cilantro chopped up. Mix it in with the mixture, let that cook for about 3 minutes or so, and after the 10 to 15 minutes and the tomatoes have sweat, you're gonna add that mixture into the beans. So pour everything into your beans, give it a good mix until everything is well blended. Then taste the beans and make sure it has enough salt in there. The seasonings is perfecto. Once it's tasting amazing, you guys, that is it. That's how I prepared my pinto beans recipe. So yeah, I served this with my Peruvian roast chicken. That recipe is already on my site. I'll link it down below for you guys so you can check it out if you'd like to. I served that with some white rice with the green sauce for the chicken and some fried plantains, and it was amazing. So thank you guys so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you give it a try, let me know in the comments down below how it turned out. and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.